Holy cow, but the Cubs offense went on vacation. Before the previous series against the San Francisco Giants, I said I believe the Cubs were not only the best team in the league, but they were going to prove it this week against two teams who had similar records. Didn't happen. Cubs offense and the defense up to that point was backing up that claim, as well as the path they took to get to that record, right? Versus what the Giants and the Mets had done with a much easier schedule up to this point. We can talk about what's on paper until we're cubby blue in the face, but what you do on the diamond matters the most. And the Cubs got the belt put on them all week long. Let's wrap up this weekend, which was a whack-ass loss to the New York Mets at Citi Field. It was a 3-game set, saw the Cubs drop 2 out of 3, a second straight series loss. I'm going to break it down for you game by game. Gang, on Friday night, it felt like watching the Cubs catch a Mortal Kombat uppercut for 9 straight innings. The Cubs lost that game 7-2. Jameson Taillon was on the mound, and he just wasn't good. Flat awful. He was only able to make it through 4 innings of work and gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them being earned, and 4 home runs to Lindor, Batty, McNeil, and Soto. You're going to hear the name Batty a lot because he was smoking the Cubs pitching all weekend. The Cubs did get a solo home run from Cal Tucker and Michael Busch, but the offense couldn't do much against the Mets pitching staff, specifically Clay Holmes. He had the Cubs bats handcuffed all night. He gave up 3 hits through 6 innings, and after he left, the Cubs couldn't do much with the relief pitching of New York either. They only got 2 more hits the whole night. And to compound the pitching struggles, there was also some shoddy defense. Dansby Swanson, who was a Gold Glover, who can make mistakes because no one's perfect, but he does have a Gold Glove. But in this one instance, he had a chance at a double play ball hit right to him, but instead of completing the double play by throwing the ball to the first baseman, he threw the ball to the Bronx. Saturday, much needed change of pace for the Cubs. They won 6-5. The big story here was the major league debut of Cade Horton. He picked up the victory in his first big league appearance. He threw the ball really well. I thought it's a difficult spot to make your debut at Citi Field against a really good team, but he looked good. He came in the second inning and pitched 5 innings. He didn't give up his first hit until the 4th inning, where he got hit 3 times, and one of those 3 hits was a 3-run home run to Batty. Through his 4 innings of work, he struck out 5 and didn't walk anybody. So it was a really good debut. He got the W, and the life on his pitches looked really good. He got up to the upper 90s a few times on Saturday. I'm rooting for the best of this kid, and I hope to see more good things coming from him as he's up with the big club squad. The Cubs offense did show up on Saturday as they jumped out to an early lead with 2 runs in the first inning. Suzuki drove at PCA. Dansby Swanson singled in Cal Tucker. Michael Busch made it 3-0 in the third. Dansby Swanson, as I already said, he hit a laser beam home run in the center field to make it 4-0. Speaking of Swanson, he came into the game on April 21st batting 177. Everybody's down at his offense at that point. Remember I said some guys were calling him the new Jay Hay. In the 16 games since, he's raised his average 60 points, 20 hits, 10 RBIs, and 4 home runs since then. He's slashing 345, 415, 638 in that span. I'm glad to see his bats waking up. I don't need to see another Jay Hay on a good squad. Um, and you can't ask for much more coming from the bottom of your lineup. Back to the game, Miguel Amaya, he drove in 2 runs in the 8th to make the game 6-3. Batty, again, hit another home run in the bottom of the 8th, this time off of Mayweather before Porter Hodge came in to close the game. That's 3 home runs right now for Batty in 2 games if you're counting. That brings us to Sunday, Mother's Day. And unfortunately, the Cubs did not secure the win that you would expect on a holiday as this one. They lost the series finale 6-2 in a game that got away from, to be honest. Starting pitcher Matthew Boyd, he had another excellent outing, and you can probably say that he's the Cubs' best starter right now. He went 6 innings, gave up just two runs, 6 hits, and 8 strikeouts. Did not walk a single batter. He was efficient. He threw 66 strikes on 92 pitches and 18 first pitch strikes to the 24 batters he faced. He put the team in a position to win the game. However, the bats did not show up on Sunday, and the pen was even worse. They were Uncle Remus chicken, straight garbage. The Cubs managed only 3 hits all day. They had an opportunity in the 3rd inning with runners on 1st and 2nd, but could not capitalize. Pete Crow Armstrong did his best. He did hit a solo home run to tie the game early at 1-all, but that was pretty much it offensively. The game turned in the 8th inning when Porter Hodge came in. The game was tied 2-2-all. But after doing a great job in the same situation the day before, he was awful on Sunday. The Mets had his number. They knew what he had to come out there with. And Lindor took him deep, and now everything after that was piling on. Hodges' line on Sunday was a third of an inning, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, and 1 home run. He was followed by Hollowell, who was equally trash can juice. He gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, and another home run in just 2/3 of an inning. Maybe calling him Uncle Remus chicken was a bit harsh. I don't think I should ever call anybody Uncle Remus chicken. That's terrible. Looking at the series overall, dropping back-to-back series isn't ideal. The offense needs to wake up. The offense, as of right now, has 5 straight games of being horrible, pretty bad. Kyle Tucker, who's been amazing at leading this offense up to this point this season, had a bad week. I'm going to just keep it a buck. In the series against the Mets and the Giants, he's batting just 152 with just as many hits as he has strikeouts. Good thing for us, the gauntlet of a schedule to open up the season is finally over. The Cubs played the most difficult schedule of anyone in the majors in the first 41 games into this season. So that means the Cubs should have the easiest schedule in the last 121 games of the season, theoretically. Marlins, White Sox, Marlins again, Reds, Rockies, and Reds on the schedule to end the month. Don't want to get ahead of myself and start counting wins before the game is even started. But the Cubs have no business losing any one of these series. None. None of the 4 teams are above 500 and are some of the worst you've ever seen if you are considering the Rockies and the White Sox. The Rockies, who just fired their manager. The 4 teams have a combined winning percentage of .328. Obviously, the White Sox and the Rockies are bringing that down a lot by themselves. It might not be fair to lump the Reds in with those other 3. They do have an above average pitching staff and offense, while also putting out a positive run differential. So they aren't a pushover. However, the Cubs, who I believe to be a series contender for a pennant this year, should not be losing to the Reds, even with being down 2 starting pitchers. The Cubs kick off the series against the Marlins tomorrow evening. As always, I'll recap it at the conclusion of the series, along with any news coming out of Sheffield and Addison. Happy Mother's Day. Go Cubs. Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say 3 things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.